to Karl Rove on if Clinton faces challenges with an increasingly liberal base. The party has moved significantly to the left. Everyone's bragging about the most progressive platform in the history of the Democratic Party. So how will they receive Bill Clinton?
Well, I suspect they won't receive him badly, but I'm not certain how warm they'll welcome him. He is, after all, a centrist Democrat. He ran on reforming welfare, on passing a major anti-crime piece of legislation. He signed NAFTA. All of these things are anathema to elements of the Democratic coalition as it exists today. And but I think they'll be polite, but I don't think they're going to be a raucous welcome for the former president here tonight.
Does that actually then provide him an opportunity to sort of go back to his rhetorical skills? I mean, let's face it, the guy talked his way into the White House and was able to maneuver as a great politician. Can he bring those skills to sort of maybe bring the crowd to him, to not only make them embrace him, perhaps to even make Hillary more palatable to this audience?
Well, look, there are two audiences tonight. The audience in the hall is the less important of the two. The bigger audience is the audience of whatever it is, 10 million, 15 million, 20 million, 25 million that are going to be watching. Remember, 4 years ago, he did a great job for Barack Obama by basically serving as the defender-in-chief, if you will, of President Obama, explaining why he deserved to be reelected for his economic record. I think tonight he's going to be trying to explain to the American people why it is that he thinks Hillary Clinton is the most qualified person to be president and why he thinks they ought to support her. I'm not certain how much he's going to play to the crowd inside the audience. I think he's going to try to avoid offending them, but I think his main focus is going to be on speaking to those people who are tuning in to watch the festivities and figure out who they might support in the fall. The independents who basically turn into the conventions and then turn off again until we get around to the to the presidential debates in the fall.
Well, here's the thing, though, Karl. He's got to walk this fine line between, and I guess this really the entire DNC, between saying, hey, things are really good, but they can be a lot better. And of course, the natural reaction, well, under 7 or 8 years of this sort of Democratic policy, why aren't they great right now?
Yeah, Charles, you put your finger on what I think is the essential strategic weakness of this week for the Democrats. Their argument is you can't trust Donald Trump to be president, but you can trust Hillary because she's experienced and qualified. She's been around a long time. That says, in essence, he's for change, she's for the status quo. And when you have 1 out of every 4 Americans thinking the country's going in the right direction and 7 out of 10 saying the country's off on the wrong track, that's not a good argument for the Democrats to be in a position of making. And how they make it, starting last night was just sort of, let's give Bernie his night. Tonight is let's begin to make the turn towards Hillary. But how they reach that by Thursday night is very difficult to do, given the nature of the argument that they have to make and want to make.
How does he also parse the notion that, hey, Hillary is going to be following my lead, and you remember how great things were under me,
right,
and Barack Obama's lead, which things aren't necessarily as good.
Yeah. Well, look, what I thought was interesting about last night is Elizabeth Warren's speech is, in essence, if you take out some of the words about Hillary Clinton, it is a full-out assault on the economic record of the Obama years. You know, we got growing income inequality, and the system is rigged, and people are getting screwed. So, you know, each one of them tonight is going to have to deal with this tonight and tomorrow night. How can you say to the American people, re-elect us, give Hillary a 3rd term for Barack Obama, because Democrats have done such a good job over the last 8 years without sounding like you're completely status quo, and people don't like the status quo. The question for Donald Trump is, can he reassure them enough that while they recognize he's for change, that they think he is capable of doing a good job once he gets in there? For the Democrats, they got a higher problem, which is, okay, go and make the argument all day long that she's more experienced and qualified and has a better temperament, but every time you say that, that reinforces she's part of the crowd that's in there. If you like what they've done, vote for her. If you don't, vote for somebody else. Well,
we know one thing. Bill Clinton's a political contortionist. If there was an Olympic event for this, he'd compete every 4 years. Yeah. Thanks a lot, Karl. Really, go ahead.
Yeah, and watch for him. Tonight, I bet you a dime to a dollar, he says, Hillary's the most qualified person to seek the presidency in our lifetimes. Even more qualified than him.
If he does it, we'll play it side by side and accuse him of plagiarism in the morning. All right, thanks a lot, Karl.
Great. All right, thank you.